Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. You are visible. Yeah, you are visible. You can proceed now.
Yeah, thank you. I thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity to give a talk. I'm going to speak how intelligent agents using contemporary artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques are useful for efficient document searching on web. Because we all know, and during the last 1.5 days, we have seen that how the web is a plethora, has got plethora of information. Searching for correct document takes time, takes a lot of time, I must say that. So there are efficient algorithms, there are intelligent agents being developed using ML techniques, machine learning techniques for optimizing the searching methods. So I am going to briefly touch upon them. Briefly, first of all, I'll briefly introduce that intelligent agents may be the way to improve search and retrieval engines. And I'll discuss about some common search paradigms like navigational search, informational search, transactional search, etc. And then some features for a future digital library like web search personalization, cross database searching, contextual searching, single level versus multi-level search, and relevance feedback, etc. And I'm also going to touch upon how machine learning helps Google to improve searching. I'll talk about its component for the core algorithm, which is RankBrain, which uses machine learning techniques. Current search and retrieval engines are primarily passive instruments, but intelligent agents are on the way. Google has already started, and many more companies have already started for making intelligent agents for improving the search and retrieval engines and making them. And in future, they are going to move them towards active personal assistants for any person. So slightly work has already initiated in this field, but in future you will see that they will become active personal assistant because of the personalized web searches based on user preferences, user uh, uh, ideas and the context. So we can say that the combination of search and retrieval engines, which are already available, the intelligent agent, which will be based on the machine learning techniques, user preference algorithms, and information retrieval algorithms, they all will be addressing the trust and competence issue of the intelligent agent, whether it is providing you the correct answers, whether it is providing you the right information which is available on the web or not. There are common search paradigms like navigational search. We all know about it. A navigational search is a keyword search. We all use it quite often, in which the searcher wishes to go to a specific website, specific web page on a site. For example, you can say that I want to see the website of President of India. To do so, just type the query, press enter, and the Google provides you the link to President. It provides you so many options, and you just press on that and go to that website. So that is very simple navigational search. The second is informational search. This is I'm providing you the details from the user perspective, what goes behind that. As a computer science person, those technical things I'm not going to discuss a lot. Informational search says that we can say that the intent of informational search is to acquire some information, assuming that it is available on the internet. In this case, the kind of search is conducted for study, research, or any other purpose where a scholarly information is required. Suppose if you say that career in library and information sciences. So the result, you put this query to Google search engine on the web. It provides you a list of the search results, which contains references of, let us say, more than 40,000 hits across the web. So what happens behind this is there are lot of indexing goes on, web crawling goes on, and it has prepared a sort of customized and not known to the public's algorithms. Google has prepared, and they are not like some, only few white papers are available on the algorithms. But currently what they are doing is they are using the ML techniques for specialized information systems like PubMed. It comprises more than 33 million citations for biomedical literature from medicine, life science journals, and other books. Similarly, OPAC of a particular library or likewise also falls in this category. So, some already machine learning techniques are being used for this kind of search paradigm. The
Sorry for
transaction.
interruption. See, Dr. Dr. Alpana Rajan, please make it full screen. It's not so visible.
Pardon me, sir?
Try to make it full screen, full screen, full
Okay.
screen.
Yeah. Some issue.
You can try from your end. If it is not possible, leave it. Please proceed.
Madam, display settings and duplicate slideshow, madam.
Transactional search is it intends to reach a website for further interaction or some other activities. The purpose of such query could be shopping, downloading various types of files as images, song, movies, etc., and various web mediated services like gaming. For example, a person can go to a website where one can buy online tickets for airplane, train, movie, etc. What happens in this is searching information on web for navigational and transactional search is general in nature. Okay, but searching for informational purpose needs certain level of knowledge and skills. That is why I mentioned you that for informational search paradigm, the use of ML techniques is coming into going, and it is already started. Now let me touch upon what is artificial intelligence. All of you know about this. What is artificial intelligence versus machine learning versus deep learning? So we all know that humans have been obsessed with automation since the beginning of technology adoption. We all know that. AI, that is artificial intelligence, enables machines to think without any human intervention. It is a broad area of computer science. AI systems fall into three types. Artificial narrow intelligence, which is goal-oriented and programmed to perform a single task. Artificial general intelligence, which allows machines to learn, understand, and act in a way that is indistinguishable from humans in a given situation. Okay. Then comes artificial super intelligence, that is a hypothetical AI, where machines are capable of exhibiting intelligence that surpasses brightest of humans. So we will focus on artificial general intelligence, which allows machines to learn, understand, and act in a way that is indistinguishable from humans in a given situation. And there are various, I'll say that it is machine learning approaches is machine learning is a science of getting computers to act without being explicitly programmed. Nowadays, most of the search engines, they use machine learning techniques for automated classification of web pages. In earlier days, it was like indexing, web crawling, making the indexes in variety of indexes was the way for search engines. But these days, they are using machine learning techniques for automated classification of web pages as well as for the web page rankings. Now we will see there are various types of machine learning approaches. Supervised machine learning. For this family of models, basically in the machine learning, you make a model and make it learn from a large data set, and that keeps on improving itself and to learn the new ways to find out the features or the characteristics from the given objects. So in supervised machine learning, in this family of models, we need to have at hand a data set with some observations and the labels or classes of the observations. For example, the observations could be images of animals and the labels which are the names of the animals like cat, dog. So large data set, let us say something around 80,000, 90,000 images with labels properly. So we train the model using that data set, and then when any object is put to that, it tries to match and find out whether it is a cat or dog from the label, from the learning it has done, that model has done. In unsupervised machine learning, for this family of models, we need to have at hand a data set with some observations without the need of having the labels or classes of the observations. And unsupervised learning studies how systems can infer a function to describe a hidden structure from unlabeled data. Okay. Then comes semi-supervised machine learning. This family is between the supervised and unsupervised learning families, and such models use both labeled and unlabeled data for training. As I told you, training the models in machine learning is very important, and that is an ongoing process. Then reinforcement machine learning. In this family of models, algorithms are there that use the estimated errors as rewards or penalties. If the error is big, then the penalty is high and the reward low. And now let us see for some features for a future digital library. Every user has a distinct background and a specific goal when searching information which is available on web in a large amount. The digital contents are very large. So what happens is effective personalization of information access is required, and which is being done also these days, but it poses two challenges. That is accurately identifying the user contexts and organizing the information in such a way that matches the particular context. The goal of web search personalization is to tailor search results to a particular user based on that user's interest and preferences. We all have come across in some form or the other on e-commerce websites. Based on your interests and preferences, it gives you the list to be procured, items to be procured in future that way. Okay, then what happens is for this to happen, creation of user profiles, user profile ontology is to be done for context-aware application personalization, like similar to the way we have experienced within the mobile environments. To enhance personalized search models based on users' ontological profile can be created by assigning implicitly derived interest scores. These all are done by the machine learning agents, machine learning algorithms, and this requires interest scores based on the user's ongoing behavior to be maintained in the huge database. Web search personalization, as like what happens is you have to re-rank the search result. Re-ranking, that is a continuous process based on the interest score of the user. The semantic evidence in an ontological user profile is effective in presenting the most relevant results to the user. So web search personalization with ontological user profiles is a current in thing for searching the required information from the plethora of information which is widely available across the web. There are and experiments show that re-ranking the search results based on the interest scores and the semantic evidence is an ontological use. That is a very effective, and even various white papers are available showing that re-ranking the search results is providing a better solution for the users. The exponential growth in the volume and diversity of digital library content represents both challenges and opportunities. One obvious challenge is to keep the query response time very low. While conventional search technology gives acceptable query response times when searching is limited to metadata only, it cannot handle the addition of large amount of OCR text. Okay. With a third generation platform, searching can be performed across multiple systems and on all the available content. Another significant challenge is to provide the most relevant information to the user. This involves finding and ranking hits from large amount of information, as well as retrieving relevant information from that the user does not even know that it exists or may not even know how to search for. The most relevant information may exist in another database and described in a ways that do not show up in traditional searches. Okay. So some systems provide distributed searching through the use of some protocols like OpenURL, Z39.50 and all. However, they are very slow due to protocols and long response times in source systems and do not provide one consistent relevancy function across all of the content sources. The contextual searching is a context-based search engine, includes finding of information based on its context. And context is nothing but any information that can characterize and is relevant to the interaction between a user and the application. It enables deep semantic analysis and refinement across structured, unstructured, and rich media, and dynamic interpretation of contextual meaning of the context. Then comes some of the searches cannot be handled by single level only. That is why there is a concept of multi-level search. And all the candidate when a search is performed in all the candidate blocks, a search window needs to be exhaustively searched in order to find the best matching block. And this exhaustive search process becomes, however, very time consuming, and hence it is not suitable for complex applications having huge databases. Thus, multi-level search algorithms were proposed to reduce the computational complexities. And multi-level searches are the thing which are providing response time, reduced response time for the users, better throughput to the users. Relevance feedback is very important. The idea is to involve the user in the retrieval process so as to improve the final result set. And relevance feedback is the feature included in many information retrieval systems, and it takes the results from the query and user gives feedback, and then system checks whether the retrieved information is relevant enough to execute another query or not relevant to execute the another query. We can see it diagrammatically. Initial search into user puts the input query, then after a search and ranking is there, displays top and rank documents. This all we have seen in the Google, but there is a continuous process of improvement of this process based on the relevance feedback from the user. And whether there is check the relevant or non-relevant provided by the user, the feedback is given. Non-relevant documents are separated out, relevant documents are separated out, and based on the relevance feedback from the user, it is improving its searches further for the next time. Relevance in information retrieval defines how much the retrieved information meets the user requirement, so that in future it is helpful for providing the right information to the user in minimum possible time. Now let us see how machine learning helps Google to improve searching. There are actually over 200 different ranking factors to rank websites, including algorithms. and they all considered together help in indexing of results. There is a one component of Google's core algorithm, search algorithm, which is known as RankBrain. It uses machine learning, that is the ability of machines to teach themselves from data inputs to determine the most relevant results to search engine queries. So this RankBrain is all using machine learning techniques. It is continuously learning itself, improving the intelligent agent for providing the relevant results in minimum time to the user. And it uses machine learning for continuously learning about the connectedness of entities and their relationships, because there are so many entities and what are their relationships. So it continuously learns. It tries to understand when words are synonyms and when they are not. Like we all use computers, and replace and fix may be synonym in general. Replace and fix. Okay. So it is a general, they can be used synonymously on computers, but they won't be synonym if we are querying like how to fix my car. Okay. So this RankBrain uses machine learning to understand when words are synonyms and when they are not. So it is trying to train itself, trying to improve itself based on its experiences. And it also instructs other portions of algorithms to produce the correct search engine result pages based on the whatever learning it has done so far. And all these techniques are useful. They are evolving. They are continuously being upgraded. The machine learning models are being upgraded to improve the search, document search on the web, which has got plethora of information. For my talk, I have used these references, and I have tried to touch on how intelligent agent using contemporary artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques can be useful for document search. And it is a very current trend, current topic. I have tried not to use very much technical jargon and simplify. Still, I hope I'm able to convey my points to you. Thank you all.
Yes. Thank you, Madam. Dr. Alpana Rajan. You covered a lot about the various techniques used for searching the document. Yes, really, it is very useful.